everybody, Miss Elizabeth here. I am back with another story for you. But I wanted to say, every day I try to find something that I am thankful for. And with all this rain out today, I am very thankful for my home or my house. And it made me think of my one of my favorite books, another one, of course, The Best Nest. So this book is by P.D. Eastman, and it is a Random House publication. There's Mr. and Mrs. Bird right there. And this is The Best Nest. So Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world my nest is the best. Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. It's not the best nest, she said. I'm tired of this old place, said Mrs. Bird. I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now. So they left the old place to look for a new one. This place looks nice to me, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. But somebody else had already moved in. So they looked at another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird, and there's nobody in it. You're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on it. Oh, I've always wanted a house with a red flag, said Mrs. Bird. Maybe this place will be all right. But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. You make too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here. They flew in and looked around. Isn't it too big? Asked Mr. Bird. I like this big place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the place to build our new nest. They went right to work. They needed many things to build their nest. First, they got some hay. They got some soda straws and some broom straws. They got some sweater string. They got some stocking string and mattress stuffing. They got some horse hair, some man hair. Ouch. And soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horsehair, all the man hair they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. This nest really is the best, said Mrs. Bird. I want to stay here forever. Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. I love our house. I love our nest. In all the world, our nest is the best. He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull a rope, and the rope went up to the bird's new nest. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Bong, bong, bong. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. Oh my goodness. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and man hair and straws. Where was Mrs. Bird? I will look for her until I find her, said Mr. Bird. He looked high and he looked low. He looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. He looked into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there either. Then he saw a big fat cat. There was a big fat smile on that fat cat's face. There were some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh dear, he cried. This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird. Oh no. Mr. Bird flew off. I'll never see Mrs. Bird again, he cried. It was getting dark. It began to rain. It rained harder and harder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Crash! Mr. Bird bumped into something. It was his old house. That old house, that old house that Mrs. Bird hated. I'll go inside, Mr. Bird. I'll rest here until the rain stops. Mr. Bird went in, and there was Mrs. Bird sitting there, singing. I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world, my nest is the best. You here? Gasped Mr. Bird. I thought you hated this old nest. Mrs. Bird smiled. I used to hate it, she said, but a mother bird can change her mind, you see. There's no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird. What's that? I see the egg. Oh, there's a baby bird. The end. All right, so when we do story time at the library, we like to end our story times with the more we get together. So we do sign language with this, and we do 4 signs. We pinch our fingers together and say more. Good job. And then we put our fists together, and then we make a big circle. We say together. And then we put our hands kind of flat by our shoulders with our big smiles and say happy. Good job. And then we hook our fingers for friends. And that's the tricky one. Okay, well, let's put it all together, okay? The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Good job. All right, well, I hope I will be seeing you soon, friends. And if not, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.